Good day, lads. Today is the release of the Forever Winter Early Access. Yesterday they came out with QnA 4, so let's get to covering it. I'm excited. I will start getting some content out this week for it. There might be a video out tomorrow of just some general gameplay. I'm not going to do any real review tomorrow, but maybe it'll be just some straight up general gameplay. I'm really looking forward to this. Blown my voice out this week, so we're a little scratchy today. Enjoy it. Question number 1. Are the AI in-universe sentient? In lore-wise, Gunhead, a player-played scav I do believe, is not to the point of sentience, as it is more like a service unit, think Boston Dynamics. He will not pass a Turing test, but they are hoping to get him a list of sarcastic and snarky remarks, which I love to see. Toothy, however, is this guy right here. I think he looks super cool. I don't know a lot about him. I'm excited to learn about him, both from community and from in-game. Toothy, however, is a rogue AI and has been building up his subroutines as he goes along his journey, with hopes to provide him voice lines over the loudspeakers as he hunts people down. I love that. There is something about a good, maddened AI that has gone completely rogue, that is doing whatever the hell it wants, just being insane and rambling on. I love that idea. From a development standpoint, there is a foundational hello world building block that is then built upon with personality and behaviors, and Toothy has its first pass with more to go into him. Perfect. How do hunter-killers work? Do they come after too much time in the raid, too much loot, specific loot, or all of the above? A little piece of all of the above. They won't spoil anymore. They want players to stress test it and find the triggers and see the triggers move and then get pissed off. In a shorter, more kinder term, in a shorter, more kinder point, it is discoverable but not predictable, which is a good thing. We don't want to be able to predict everything and know that, all right, we've hit X minutes, time to leave this raid. We want to be able to experiment with that. But it is always nice to have a general idea of when things will be going south. I love this mentality. It's perfect. Can we order AI squad members to loot bodies and carry? Sort of. You can put things into the Pack Mule AI companion, but it cannot pick things up actively. Again, keeping to the vision of being a scav here and having to be the one that decides what is worth taking is the right move to go with this. I personally wouldn't want to see AI squad members sifting through bodies and picking things up that aren't necessity, unless maybe it's ammo. Thoughts on lootable logbooks and data pads for lore, something I personally care about, because lore is it's tasty. It's got the num-nums to it. Definitely, but not implemented at this time, and actively engaged with community members who showed some interest in writing lore, but they aren't there yet, as well as talking with NPCs and hearing war stories as a way to get more of the lore in-game. And they are excited to expand upon that. Trust me, the more lore that goes into this world, the more likely you're gonna see someone want to develop alongside Fundog Studios a pen and paper tabletop RPG, which if one comes out, this community is gonna have another way to play Forever Winter at home. Everyone knows the meme, but I don't think it would be such a downside if it was done really well. Will you be able to customize your innards? Yeah, they have put in some upgrades to customize your base camp, and it will be expanded upon in the future. The jukebox is something they want to include too. Fantastic, I love it. Now just a bar for some good old rockin' stone. Just say. This will provide utility as well as aesthetics. They just need the time to implement it and get it in. A fun project for sure. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Will early access progress be wiped when the game is fully released? Initial answer was no, with a fast follow-up of I don't think so. And then as far as updates to skill trees, you may see a redistribution of skills, but no atomization of the system as a whole. I forget what game was doing that. Every time they did an update to the skill tree, everything got it was probably an MMO, but I'm okay with that. I think that's fair and reasonable. What I would like to see if this does happen is to give a lore reason and turn it into like a cutscene or some form of a visual, that this in the same way that Final Fantasy XIV did it when they relaunched their MMO, and it gives everyone who plays the early access a sense of what we've been through and been a part of has been a bigger thing that's led up to this accumulation of all our work. It's just an idea of that could potentially be really cool to see in universe, but I'm 100% happy to see that data will not be scrubbed when the full release comes down the line. In context of gambling from the last Q&A, can we get to pilot 2 cyborgs in a boxing ring? I'm personally down for some virtual rock'em sock'em robots. From the devs, that would be sick. Not at launch, but super cool. The game would need to be very successful so they can take time to implement these ideas and then get them as expanded utility for the innards. And they may put it to a community vote when they have time to dedicate to these developments. So I think that's really cool. Punishments for griefers. If you friendly fire, it will slam your scav faction rating very hard, making things for you personally as a scav difficult, such as quests and shopping. Utilize your filters at launch, such as friends only and invite only. If you find toxic people are just coming in, eliminate their ability to come in with these tools, and if it becomes a bigger problem further down the road, they will take another look at it. But if you find you're getting a poison pill, kick it out. Will there be a codex for enemies when we can view their models and lore? They would love to, but not at EA launch. It has a lot of asks, they just need to work on it, and there was a bit of excitement at the idea of turning it maybe into research projects, which I think would be cool, but I would prefer to have the full codex in my hands and just be able to go over it all. Will I be able to share water with friends who would suffer a water death? Yeah, sure, absolutely. But to be clear, you cannot give people who are offline water. They need to be online. You cannot mail water to people. How will the early access build differ from what the CCs have played over the last week? Short answer, a lot has happened between the CC build and what's coming today. While they didn't have the laundry list of improvements, it clearly seems like a lot has been done to improve their title. But there is still a lot of work to do, even improving the AI awareness, engagement, and transference of communication. They are saying they will never claim it to be done and will always want to keep improving upon it. They wanted to make it crystal clear that if you have concerns about it, please wait on the demo, and why they're excited to have the EA going as we can, as players, give them feedback on what's going on in greater detail and in more reports. Having players be able to play the EA and give that feedback to help make the game better, even better on their end. Again, that target-rich environment for making the game better. Will you be adding some kind of armor system for the scavs? They like it a lot. Originally, the platform design was a modular and adaptable. They might try to bring some of those things back, but it wasn't part of the core experience, and it adds a lot of additional variables that could throw things off. It isn't entirely off the table, but it isn't their main focus either. Will there be oil? At some point, and what it will be used for will be expanded upon at a later date. They have some ideas for its use written down on pen and paper, but again, it's for later on. Will the lore be an endless loop? Have a foxhole seasonal reset? Will it progress dynamically, or can we as scavs work with a faction to help them take ground, and if so, will there be a reward system? That goes into a system they had developed called a tug-of-war system, which will have some remnants in early access. Big questions and challenges are players who play offline and how that would update to the online, and they need to figure out ways to get it done. They have pen and paper write-downs of that system, but because of the community being segmented, it needs to be figured out how to make it sustainable. To be honest, this is a feature that I would really love to see and I think would really shine, but it would also possibly have a bunch of people calling for PvP if the community isn't all working towards one faction supremacy. I don't want PvP in this game at all, but I do want this system in here. I would love to see it cause some tension between the scavs and see groups of scavs coming together and focusing their one faction that they're trying to side with to see the rewards that they want over the other. Or maybe just some really cool shit. I don't want PvP, I'm old, I'm slow, I just want to see this PvE system get better and better and better until it's perfect. I hope to see this mechanic in-game, and maybe offline players just have their own private war that updates to the full community outcome when they go online. That might suck, but it is the easiest workaround that I can think of. What are the devs' upcoming wishlist games? Beautiful Light, Beta Decay, Dwarf Strategy, Slay the Spire 2, Unbroken, Reanimal, Menace, and more. To be honest, as someone who has dumped now 800 hours between the Switch and the PC and Steam Deck editions of Battle Brothers, which PC, Steam Deck, same goddamn thing. Menace is on my top wish list of games, and I cannot fucking wait to cover that once Overhype gets more out. And as I am working with Hooded Horse, I am really looking forward to getting my hands on Menace and being able to play that, make some stories with it, experience the story of it, and really dive into the solid work that Overhype Studios puts into their games. They are a fantastic company. If you want a hard RNG mercenary company building game, chef's kiss to that game. I love it. Anything else to add to the community? They have had a blast making this and are excited to keep this going and keep growing for the real release of the game. It has been a privilege and an honor as game devs to get the feedback that they have been so they can get to what we need as players, what they want to do, and the things that they need to work on. So if we all work together, we can help the devs achieve their vision, make this the best goddamn game possible. And again, to those of you who are worried about the water death system, I'm not going to cover it today. I will cover it a few days from now when I've had my full time. So I understand there's still worry, there's still concerns, but I will come to it. And again, as I said in the last video, it is nice to sometimes come back to a game and start fresh. And I think that's a good idea. But we'll see. We have to test things. You have to figure things out. Okay, that's it for QnA 4. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you lads in the field. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you so much for supporting on Patreon. You too can support on Patreon by heading down in the description below. There's a link there. You can also support by becoming a channel member here on YouTube, and you can also support for free by tickling the algorithm, making it happy, and staying around for the next video. Take care of yourselves, stay healthy, stay happy, and have fun today. Peace, scavs.